want to get my question answered in the big room.
Second to none. Ben Troop's Atlanta Hat Collection there. But Ben, we are in the middle of OTAs. Bunch of guys reporting. Aaron Rodgers showing up looking like Con Air.
I mean, listen, when you tuck in a wife beater, you serious about life. Like when you tuck it in, that's not by coincidence.
Serious about 20 to life.
Before we even get to it, Christian, when you think about Aaron Rodgers, though, right? Aaron Rodgers, is he the king of the offseason now? Because you know what he's going to do in the regular season. When it comes to quarterbacking, you can put him up there with the best of them. He's not the GOAT. That's Tom Brady. But as far as like just throwing the rod,
but you're saying the king of the offseason is like controlling the narrative of the offseason?
Yes. Well, obviously Pat McAfee kind of helped him do that as well.
Or I'd say one Thomas Brady who like retired and then unretired.
So what would you consider his offseason antics? Because it's something every year now. Like, I don't want to be in Green Bay. I always want a wide receiver. Ari, Mr. Relax. Who is he dating?
I say this in the most like accusatory or like journalistically irresponsible way. I'm pretty sure he's dating a witch.
Yeah. I think his new lady is a witch. I think she's came out publicly and said it. Tom Brady through the years, short hair.
Not Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers.
I'm sorry, Aaron Rodgers. Sorry. Aaron Rodgers.
Giselle is not a witch.
Yeah, if Giselle is a witch, everybody's trying to find him a witch right now. No, Aaron Rodgers, long way from being the last one in the green room. Mr. Long hair now, long hair, don't care. It's kind of blondish. What you got? It's kind of like a blunt, like kind of blondish brown. It's Aaron Rodgers. It's Aaron Rodgers. He's going to do what he do. You know who I feel bad for? Jordan Love. Jordan Love will never be a football player as long as he plays quarterback for Green Bay. He's never going to play. So shout out to Aaron Rodgers. Shout out to everybody, showing up to camp. These are the times for you people that love football. This is the time to where if you are a football player, whether you're getting ready to go back to training camp, or I know we coming up on the official start of the college football season. If you do not question what the hell am I doing here, you don't love football. You're supposed to question it. You're supposed to say, do I really want to do this? Because the most exciting people this time of the year are not players. They're coaches. Coaches can't wait. Let's go, fellas. Give me all you got. You're looking like, man, gone. So don't take it for granted, though. Understand how precious it is. Understand how you are one of them ones, as my grandfather would say. Everybody's not going to get the top spot, but 25 scholarships given out every year. If you're in one of those seats, whether you Division I, Division II, Division III, NAIA, Ivy League, HBCU, you made it. What do you do with the opportunity now? If you're in the league, man, you're getting paid. I don't want to hear anything. You're in the league, you really made it. You really made it. And I know we just finished up the season. USFL, you better enjoy it. Because The Rock, they are coming. And they are coming with a vengeance. So all that kicking this time next year, Christian, either the USFL going to be getting ready for year 3 or they will be shutting down business. But shout out to them A-Town Down Falcons. I know they reported for camp. Marcus Mariota, Alden Tate.
Oh, yeah.
Brian Edwards.
I do have a correction to make.
Drake London.
Uh-oh. So Aaron Rodgers' new girlfriend, after he broke up with Shailene Woodley, apparently not a witch.
Oh, she's not?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe.
We've determined this. She came out and said, y'all are hilarious.
Right.
Not to us, but she said in a report.
Right.
But her name is Blue. BLU.
Okay. BLU.
Yep.
Okay.
Blue.
Christian. I used to say that I thought that Antonio Brown, when he was in the NFL, wanted to be famous more than he wanted to be a football player.
Okay.
Could you kind of say that about Aaron Rodgers? Like, I'm not saying he don't want to be a great football player.
It sounds crazy for you to say that, but I do think he's kind of mentally past, like,
is he over it?
Maybe not even mentally, maybe like emotionally. Like he's not as emotionally tied to success on the field. If you've listened to him talk, he is a person who finds spiritual happiness in kind of other things outside of
because he made that much money.
The football field, I guess. That's probably
no. I'm just saying, like Christian, if you are a 250 millionaire, are you saying crazy things because we have to listen to you?
Maybe, yeah.
Because I just saw Antonio Brown performing with an all red long sleeve what'd you call that thing? Leather suit on in the heat of the summer, dancing. So life is good for some of us. But Christian, the start of the NFL season is here. What What or who is Christian Gokel?
I'm sorry. His girlfriend hosts a podcast. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to take shots. Like it's a wonderful name. She hosts a podcast. Again, her name is Blue.
BLU.
And the podcast is described as a clean reservoir of consciousness from which a soul's thirst for purifying relief and love can drink. Can you guess what the name of the podcast is?
Is it water?
Deja Blue.
You know what? so it's not that, you know, it's not that she's like, you know, very much into herself. She's all about, look, at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers is going to do three things. He's going to make a bunch of money, right? He's going to make offseason headlines, and he's guaranteed to be dating someone who is a lot more famous with him than without him.
Hey, Shailene Woodley, famous by herself. All right, Fault in Our Stars.
No, I'm not saying she isn't.
All of that.
Ben Affleck knows. Hey, man, I'm going to marry J-Lo. I ain't going to take long. What? Jay-Z, Beyonce, what you talking about? I'm not playing around. Aaron Rodgers ain't trying to get married, though. Because wasn't he engaged and then wasn't?
Yeah, there's been a whole lot of things.
We know more about Aaron Rodgers' personal life than we know about our own. You was at SC Media Days. Did anybody ask Jordan, have you seen your brother lately? No. He doesn't talk to me. That's crazy.
Speaking of on the field stuff, or I guess not on the field because he's not going to be there. You see the Roquan Smith news out of Chicago. Roquan Smith, former Georgia All-American, now an All-Pro with the Chicago Bears, coming up on the final year of his rookie deal where he is set to make $9 million for being maybe the best inside linebacker in the National Football League.
He's definitely up there.
Had 167 tackles last year for the Chicago Bears.
Wow.
And like I said, is about to earn $9 million in 2022, set to hold out. Missed the beginning of OTAs. I mean, that seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, it is. This is the reason why he wants this money, and this is what we're supposed to do. Darius Leonard, already a two-time first-team All-Pro linebacker out of South Carolina State, is the highest-paid linebacker in NFL history. I am not saying that just because Darius Leonard got his money does not mean that Roquan Smith doesn't deserve and hasn't earned his money. So shout out to Roquan Smith. People saying he's gonna make $9 million. No, I should be making that plus 10 with what he brings. The Chicago Bears, they kind of lacking star power these days. I know they got Justin Fields. I know that Khalil Mack is now, in the AFC.
And Robert Quinn is holding out as well, and he wants to trade, and they haven't even signed their second-round pick at safety, Jaquan Brisker, yet. So that front office is probably not a fun place to be working right now.
It's not, and if you are, at the end of the day, the great Hugh Douglas, the money and memories. I'm trying to get as much as I can, as fast as I can. And Roquan Smith, for those who think, man, what happened to him? He's been balling. Ever since he left Athens, he's been doing what he did in Athens. I have been balling. And I'm sorry, in the words of Deion Sanders, if you didn't want us complaining about money, you should have been giving out separate checks. His check shouldn't have been bigger than mine. And like I say, I don't know who the best linebacker is in the National Football League because you got some beasts. Warner out there at San Francisco, Devin White and what he's doing for Tampa Bay. You talk about Roquan Smith. You talk about Darius Leonard. You got guys, you got Kendrick still getting it done. Bobby Wagner. Oh, my God.
Well,
the Rams.
How mad do you think the Bears were? Because they're sitting there. They know that they have to come in. They got a new GM, and he has to come in. He's like, okay, we got to re-sign Roquan. He's making $9 million this year. And then Jacksonville went and gave Foye Oluokun $15 million a year. Roquan's sitting there saying, I'm 25.
Yeah.
I'm two-time second team.
Say his name again, though, because I ain't gonna try to say it.
Foye Oluokun. Yeah, but he's like, Roquan's like, I'm a two-time second team All-Pro.
Come on.
I've been the best player on your defense since Khalil Mack left.
He has.
Yes, like so. Foye got 15,
and nothing against Khalil. Roquan might have been. Now that one year, Khalil Mack was baller, but Roquan Smith. Unless you understand why, the reason why you go, hey, dude, man, people don't really be running the ball against Chicago. Yeah, because they got Roquan. Like 167 tackles doesn't happen. Two people can do that. The young man that just came from Atlanta, say his name again, Christian.
Foye Oluokun.
Roquan Smith and Luke Kuechly. You're not getting a lost art is 100 tackles. You know how hard that is? 100? I got 167.
Only 5 players were around what he did last year in the NFL.
Man, stop playing, man. Get that man his money. Shout out to Roquan Smith, man. Shout out. Listen, I got to shout out to them Georgia Bulldogs, man. I'm gonna give them their shots out. I'm growing, people. I'm growing as a personality. I have to give credit when credit is due. Stetson Bennett, man, it's ridiculous. It really, no preseason, all conference teams. And you are one of a very, very select few of people who's won it all. Hey man, for those, Kirby Smart said the best. They said, man, what's the moniker for this team? This shit, hungry. That is not good for the competition. But man, shout out to everybody getting their money. And Christian, it's a player's market right now.
Do you want to do this real quick?
What are we doing?
What school has the most active players in the NFL?
I mean, Georgia they just drafted 15 of them.
Georgia's number 4 with 61.
I would say number 1, probably Ohio State.
They're number 3.
LSU.
They're number 2.
Number
impressive. 1? It's pretty obvious.
Alabama. Well, see, no, you see how they hit, of course.
Hey, Alabama's got 79, LSU's got 72.
15 guys in one draft, that's unheard of, man. Like 15 guys in one draft, that's certain teams' 15-year span of drafts.
Yeah.
15?
For PJ Zuko back in Studio 2, 46 for Penn State. They're in 10th place.
Penn State.
Still out here doing it.
But what's wild is I know you like
$1 billion in earnings for Alabama players in the NFL.
Wow. While I know you like, you're a football junkie. Who is the best linebacker duo in the last 10 years in the NFL? Linebacker duo.
Yes. Probably Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly.
I beg to differ.
Maybe. Well, I mean, that's just top of mind.
When I say it, you're gonna say, "Oh." I'm gonna just give you the team, and you're gonna say, "Yeah, you're right."
Tell me.
San Francisco.
Yeah, San Fran. I was gonna wait. Ray Lewis and Terrell Suggs.
Yeah, but that's more of a pass rusher, and a line. I'm just talking about pure linebacker.
Talk about it.
Navarro Bowman, Patrick Willis.
It's pretty dang good.
I don't think Chris. I don't think we understand though. Like Thomas Davis might be the greatest. Top 5 greatest stories in the NFL. Back to back torn ACLs. Most people, I don't even want to play football no more. The guy's running around with a knee brace on, killing people, just everywhere. Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis, they hit everything that moves.
So you're saying it's not Deion Jones and Foye Oluokun?
Listen.
Come on.
Listen, I will say this, though. Debo, hey, what's up? Do you want to be with them A-Town Downs or what? Because, Christian, I'm just saying, do you remember when Deion Jones was considered by some to be the best middle linebacker in the league?
Yeah, they were up out of their minds. He's fast. He's always been fast.
You know what? He just played really, really good games against him and Alvin Kamara. Used to be a really, really nice, they used to go at each other.
PJ and I were talking about this yesterday. There's guys who are stat stuffers. I'm not saying Roquan Smith is this guy, but there's certain guys, and I'll say Henry To'oTo'o at Alabama is one of those guys where, yeah, he'll end the season with 100 tackles, but he's catching dudes 5 yards downfield.
I like to call him, he want them going for the ride type of linebackers. Like he'll catch you, he'll get you down, but if it's 3rd and 1, it's first down. And if anything, the SEC championship game where Darnell Washington mossed him, what was so impressive about that play is Darnell didn't jump. And that's scouting. That's saying, hey man, when we get on the goal line,
he's a terrible
on Darnell.
He's a bad coverage linebacker. Yeah.
And who's the best coverage linebacker in the league, you think, right now? Best coverage?
Coverage? I mean, I'm going to go with my guy, Bobby Wagner.
Bobby Wagner's so underrated, man. Bobby Wagner's not need. He just, how do you have that much production that long? Year 10? What, 5 or 6 first team all pros going back and forth?
Might be longer than 10 now. Because he's part of that Legion of Boom.
Jalen Ramsey, Bobby Wagner,
Ernest Jones,
Aaron Donald, Floyd. What's the name for Georgia?
Leonard Floyd.
That's cheating. That's all 3 levels.
That's how you win a Super Bowl.
I don't care who plays safety.
That's how you win a Super Bowl. They got the corpse of Eric Weddle back there to win a Super Bowl.
Listen. I'm not gonna tell you guys when it's gonna come. I'm not promoting anything, but one of these days I'm gonna be able to sit down with some of these guys and I'm gonna try to ask the question that everybody want to know. Like Eric Weddle, yeah. Did you ever think staying in shape would ever lead you to a Super Bowl? Nope. 4 games, got it right. Hey man, we'll see what happens. But the best GM in sports, GM for the Rams. I don't know how he's doing it. I don't know how he's got all these players under contract like that. Cooper Kupp, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Bobby Wagner. How you doing it? They're going to be hard to beat. This is 3 and Out. I am Ben Troop. He is Christian Gokel. And when we come back, we don't know what the hell we're going to be talking about, but make sure you be here when we get back.
Kevin might be here. He might not. We're going to find out next.
Nobody's safe.
Big Ten Media Days taking place this week. We've heard from Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren. And, man, he's the man of the hour. He's where Greg Sankey was last year at Texas and Oklahoma. Now the Big Ten's out of USC and UCLA.
Yep.
Kevin Warren coming out today and saying, listen, we're always looking at expanding, but we're not going to expand just for the sake of expansion, which I was cool with that statement. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, look, we're always there. If it could bring more money into us, Notre Dame, then we're good to go. Actually, the MAC Media Days, they were like, we're actually pretty good right now, unless Notre Dame wants to join. Because if Notre Dame wants to join, I think the exact quote was, we feel like they make geographic sense and their culture matches up with ours. So I was like, yeah, if you guys want to hop in the MAC, get into some Tuesday night action, Notre Dame can make that happen. But a couple things I found funny from Big Ten Media Days today. Kevin Warren said one of the reasons he explored USC and UCLA was during the interview process to become the commissioner of the Big Ten during 2020. He was looking at expansion, and during his study of the Los Angeles market, he was like, I found that they had the biggest collection of Big Ten alumni in the country. So that's why, Ben, has nothing to do with USC and UCLA as brands or getting the Los Angeles market. It's just there's a whole bunch of Big Ten folks out there.
Yeah. Kevin Warren, I give him a lot of credit with this. You talk about a person that's been able to rebuild their reputation almost overnight, because this is the same Kevin Warren. Because I say, when did commissioners really get kind of like their 15 minutes? It was during the pandemic year.
Yep.
All of them was on display, right? Who was the one that didn't look good? That would be Kevin Warren. Same Kevin Warren. Hey, man, when y'all start? We're going to start on this day. Well, then again, we're going to push it back. Well,
it wasn't we're going to start on this date. It was we're not going to start.
Then it's, hey, man, well, I don't really think that we should be playing in the pandemic. Isn't it just signed a tight end in the SEC? Yeah. Like, overnight, though, somebody was saying, okay, you look at when news comes out. Oklahoma, Texas coming to the SEC. Boom. Kevin Warren was like, wait. Put it. USC, UCLA come to the Big. That's huge. Like, that is huge. Geographically, it's huge. Branding is huge. And, it puts you back into the, quote, super conference, conversation, because it's only two of them right now. But Kevin Warren publicly trying to get Notre Dame, and Notre Dame saying no. Oregon calling saying, well, no. So you told Oregon no, and Notre Dame told you no. But this is what Kevin Warren got to stop doing, though. When Greg Sankey, commissioner of the SEC, he stands up there at the podium, he's smiling, he's laughing, he's giggling. The one thing he did not say is, we are not open for business. Big 12 commissioner said that. Not the Big 10 commissioner saying that. The ACC is saying, I think we're the best conference in the country. Greg Sankey go, I don't got to know that. Why? I'm talking about the current teams I have, and the other teams don't get here, wink, wink, until 2025. That's not happening. They're going to be there before that. But I'm just saying, but Kevin Warren, though, Christian, he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's saying, y'all know who we want. They've said no. We're going to give them some time to simmer. No. Just focus on who you have. And Lincoln Riley is a big name, man. Chip Kelly, you have not heard from Chip Kelly since he went to UCLA. He got players out there doing calisthenics on the field in a circle. It's bad. They play USC, UCLA on Friday nights. That's how bad it's gotten. But there are two huge brands, Penn State, Michigan State, Michigan, the Ohio State University. But Christian, we were saying this the other day. This comes down to programming. If it's Michigan, Ohio State, or if it's Florida, Georgia, who you going to click on? Oh, here's the thought. What about rivalries? Who got the better rivalries? Kevin Warren knows, hey, man, maybe I can compete with them in programming because I can't compete with them. They're way more top-heavy than we are. And let's call it, the mid-tier teams are better than they mid-tier teams. It really, really is. It's not about the bottom feeders. Because, sorry, I hate to say it, the top-tier teams in the Big Ten, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. I give you three of them. Why not USC? They're brand.
Well, let me ask you this. Going back, which one do you think was the bigger acquisition, USC, UCLA, or Texas, Oklahoma?
It's always going to be Texas, Oklahoma for me, Christian, because I look at it like this. Just from a blind taste test, get away from the college football fans for a second. I'm talking about just a casual, I want to watch a game this weekend. UCLA, USC, or Texas, Oklahoma. It's going to be Texas and Oklahoma. Texas and Oklahoma is relevant enough for the casual fan to know who they are. And, I'll be looking and say the top 25 revenue generating schools in the country. Number 1 is Texas. Number 2 is Texas A&M. I think number 4, Oklahoma. So you got 4 of the top 5 of all top 25 plus. Christian, this is about being relevant.
Well, you're talking sports. I'm talking about in general or you're talking football. I'm talking about the acquisition and what it means in terms of money, because you got that Los Angeles market. Listen, I like Norman, Oklahoma as much as the next guy. Mm-hmm. Austin, Texas is a really cool city. Uh-huh. They just grabbed Los Angeles.
They did. Well, I will say this, though. That's why I still say it's Texas, Oklahoma. You do got Los Angeles, but Christian, it's like this. Los Angeles has a lot of things to do on Saturday. I'm talking about just from you got 2 schools to choose from, and
I would hazard a guess that there's more people in Austin watching football on a Saturday than in Los Angeles.
Well, as a person, I lived in the Northeast for about 4 or 5 years. Whenever you in a city that it's all about pro teams, it's about the Lakers, it's about the Rams, it's about the Dodgers, the Trojans, the Bruins. No, there's a reason why what makes Oklahoma, Texas is this. I want the flagship schools in these cities. In these states. I want the University of Oklahoma. I want the University of Texas. Because in the state of Texas, it's UT. That's taken away from Houston, Texas A&M, SMU. It's UT. In the state of Oklahoma, it's Oklahoma. That's taking nothing away from Oklahoma State. So now, could it stay that way? I don't know. Because once Oklahoma, Texas, and the SEC, now they're judging them on their merit. But right now, perception. Because Christian, like I say, as a Christian, you from the ATL, shout to Yale, right? Gwinnett. It's a lot of things up in Atlanta. You got now if it's the University of Georgia or the Falcons. I'm sorry, Falcons. You better be lucky you play on Sunday, because if you played on Saturday, no one's watching.
Correct.
Could Georgia fill up the Mercedes-Benz Dome every Saturday?
They do it more. They do it more than the Falcons.
So all I'm saying is the biggest sellouts every year in Mercedes-Benz is not the professional team.
I don't know the last time the Falcons actually sold out a game. We got to take a break. I see the salmon shirt of one Kevin Thomas standing by me.
It is beautiful.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. The voice of 3 and Out will join you next right here on ESPN Radio.
Ben, it's hot outside. That's all I'll say.
Yes.
Having to travel around this afternoon. It's hot, and I'm now back in the studio. So there's that. So good to be here on the show. I guess.
You got your shirt. Your shirt is the color of like SpongeBob friend Patrick.
Oh, was it?
That's what I think. I said. Yeah.
It was a few shades lighter a little while ago.
Salmon. I like it.
But anyways, so this is one of the best things you'll get. I have no clue what you and Christian were talking about.
Me and Christian.
And now I'm just
Christian
ready to go.
Hit me with it, it's the opening segment. We were talking about people going through midlife crisis, aka Aaron Rodgers. He was walking into the facility. He had on a wife beater, and it was tucked in his jeans.
And he was looking like I did see people talking about that on like Nick Cage from Con Air.
And in the second, obviously, we're talking about.
Did he have the bad Southern accent that?
No, he's the king of the offseason. Like, I don't know what goes on. Got a new girlfriend. Her name is Blue, without the E. BLU. Not getting his business. Jordan Rodgers, his brother, still haven't spoken to him, haven't seen him, haven't heard from him. And we talked about Big Ten Media Days. Kevin Warren saying, hey, look, I mean, we obviously like what we are, but we obviously want to bring in, we obviously still want a team like Notre Dame. They like the additions of USC, UCLA. Basically, Kevin Warren in the all about way of saying, I hate the SEC, I hate Greg Sankey. They get on my nerves. That's basically. And your favorite time of the year, Kevin, talk about training camps opening up. I'm just saying, piece up A-Town down Falcons, the Jaguars. If you haven't heard,
I think the Falcons, the veterans showed up today. I don't think they have their first practice till Friday, but yeah, the Jaguars. John Shipley's like, man,
oh, here we go. Hey, Kevin.
Trevor Lawrence looking good. This is a quote for Twitter. He said, John Shipley, Jaguar report on SI, saying that was as clean and crisp a practice as I've seen Trevor Lawrence have since I've covered the Jags. Well, obviously I think this is his fourth year covering the Jags. Trevor Lawrence has been there 2 years. This is his second year, and saying, look, it was clean, it was crisp. It's 7-on-7. Ben, what do you take from that? Like, when do you start to take stuff you hear from training camp serious? Like, if you say, oh, Trevor Lawrence, not like, bro, they were in shorts and running 7-on-7. Like, when as a football player, and you know how it goes, do you believe anything anybody says coming out of training camp? Or do you none ever?
No, unless it's criticism.
Criticism is real. Everything else is nonsense.
Because criticism means, Jordan Shipley and them, they saying to themselves, I can't do this no more. What do you mean? Think about this. Does it sound, what sounds more natural? Man, Trevor Lawrence, man, didn't have his best day today. Kind of was like, kind of throwing the ball over to the other team. Or, this is the most crisp I've ever seen him. What does that mean? They can't touch him. Like, they cannot touch him. He can only get sacked on game day and in preseason games. He's going up against a defense that you don't know nobody. Trevon Walker, and Clayvon Chason, Josh Allen. Other than that, you screaming a bunch of numbers. 47. You don't even know him. Christian was saying his name in the opening segment. Leading tackler for the Falcons that just got picked up by the Jags. I cannot say his name. And I think what happened.
Foye Oluokun.
Yeah. Oluokun. Oh, listen, boy, you're going to have to walk around with syllables all over. I can't say them at all. But let me say this, though. As a guy that played, the reason why I say the criticism is what they're trying not to do, but criticism is good for a player. No one, look, they invested in him. They gave him Zay Jones. They gave him Christian Kirk. They gave him Evan Ingram. You get a Travis Etienne. I saw a video yesterday of James Robinson running around yesterday. So there are no excuses for a Trevor Lawrence because no greater way to invest in the quarterback by giving him weapons. I gave you a lot of them to go along with Marvin Jones that came over from Detroit. Marvin Jones and Laviska Shenault. Marvin Jones, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, James Robinson, Travis Etienne, Doug Peterson. Because
obviously Jag fans want something hopeful, but when you hear Trevor Lawrence looking crisp, are you like, okay, what goes through your mind when you hear that? Are you like, okay, he better look good?
It's almost like they buttering you up because they know what's coming. Like, let me butter him up. Let me give him something favorable because listen, when it comes to these beat writers, they know, man, I'm the medium between me and the fans. I got to tell the fans what it is. But Kevin, you're a coach. There are things you got to say to little leaguers, but that's more motivation. Guys, you guys look really good. Do you say that's the most crisp, practice. No, because you don't got to do it. You say things like, hey, you coach them both collectively and individually. That's coaching. I got to coach y'all as a group, and I come to you individually and say, what did I tell you? What? Keep your feet on the bag, or don't do this, or don't do that. Trevor Lawrence is a starting quarterback. He's one of 32 starting quarterbacks in the National Football League. Get it right. Because Kevin, what they're really saying is, okay, throw out last year for everybody on the team. Everybody. The Urban Meyer era, and whatever you want to call it, is a blur. New front office.
It's in the past, yes.
But now it's, all right, snap the ball, let's see. Because Kevin, 17 picks were the ones that were caught last year by the other team. That's not how many he threw. Some of them were dropped. It could have gotten the 20s easily. I think Trevor Lawrence is built for the big times. I think that he's a guy that's going to definitely go out there and get it done. I think they're going to try to help him out with a solid running game. They invest in the offensive line. I just think that at the end of the day, though, Kevin, beat writers are in a very, 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 very compromising situation because old beat writing was to the point. Man, I'm going to say what it is. But now everything is so close to the vest. And Kevin, I can at you. I know who you are, Mr. Shipley. Like, I can see what you said. So I don't know, but it's the first couple of days. We really can't get it. But I will say this. I'm gonna say this every day. D. Orlando, I'm only looking at what you're saying about the Falcons. Because D. Orlando can be, listen, great at what he does, but he's honest. When D. Orlando say they gotta get him off the field, that's the truth. He can't be out there. If you play O-line for the Falcons and you can't block this D-line, this ain't for you. If they saying, man, these boys getting sack after sack after sack against this O-line, it's going to be a long year. Lorenzo Carter, maybe. But, Kevin, we went through them stats. We showed you collectively, not without Grady Jarrett, 4 or 5 dudes giving you 2 sacks together. Marlon Davidson. Lorenzo Carter, let's go. But shout out to them Jaguars. Shout out to everybody getting back to it, training camp 2022, because guess what? Optimism goes out the window first game of the season. Why? You're not beating the Rams. You're not beating Kansas City. You're not beating Tampa Bay. So if you were top 10 in the draft this year, the best you can want to do is be, 14, 15. Because I'm going to say it, these Cincinnati Bengals got us living in la-la land. They were the 5th pick. They had the 5th pick in the draft in 2021 and went to the Super Bowl. That means that don't mean nothing. That's an outlier. Right? That's an outlier. So if you think you finna go from somewhere the Giants think they're gonna be good. Somewhere Zach Wilson, the Jets think, hey, bro, if you can just what? Jesus is outside. He wants to play for y'all. We told him we don't want to mess up your flawless reputation. I'm just saying, Kevin, for real, like Kevin, look at pro sports and baseball. Why are the good teams always good teams? When the last time, what the Cleveland Indians at? Huh? What the Cubs at? Huh? It's more tradition than winning, right? Because it's hard to do it. So if you're thinking, hey, I played for the Titans before, listen, I know what fake optimism is. But first game of the year, I'm jumping around and they kick the ball off. Lost. It's hard because you got to build a culture before you can get to winning. That's what ends good. You got to build a culture, then the winning comes. Name a team that wins Super Bowls and ain't got a good culture. Name a team that wins World Series and ain't got good coaches. Name a team that wins in basketball don't got a good culture. Forget the team, good culture. I'll wait. So until the culture is built, it's going to be Detroit. Do Detroit got a culture, Kevin? Do you think it's a winning culture up there?
No, but I always enjoy reading the camp kind of stories from guys who are observing because it's like, oh man, Trevor Lawrence looking. And again, I think we feel he has a lot of upside.
He does.
But I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see certain guys saying, "Oh man, Marcus Mariota look crisp," or look
at. God
forbid Desmond Ritter.
Okay,
Desmond Ritter looking great.
Right. Ask AJ Terrell about Drake London. He gonna say, "Oh man, young kid, man. I think he got a lot of upside, right?" What about Marcus Mariota? Hey man, he looked good. Why? Because everybody is in the business of building the self-esteem, ego, and confidence of the starting quarterback. Because if you say something like, man, he look good today, that PR guy in the back like, because I'm telling you, Kevin, you got to massage them, you got to nurture them, because the hopes and dreams of any team is on the right or left shoulder of that quarterback. But it starts up here. So you think, now, is it unfavorable things being said? Yep. That's called in the privacy of your own home. All right, boy, I love you too. He stinks. We gonna lose, bruh. But you can't say it to him, because ain't but 2 or 3 of them on the team. It's like a long snapper. The starting long snapper, kicker, and punter are the most important players on every team. You don't believe me? Let one of them get hurt. I was a backup long snapper. Not in my mind, but they used to say I was. They would say he's out. It? Kevin, let me tell you something. I have a hard enough time looking at the guy in front of me. You think I'm finna open my legs up and look the other way, and I got to block him? That's not a recipe for success. I'm just telling you, there are certain things about football that make it so unique, and there's a reason why they call them specialists, because there's only 3 of them. Long snappers, kickers, punters. If the punter get hurt, the kicker got the punt. If the kicker get hurt, the punter got a kick. And if the long snapper get hurt, may God help us all. It's going to be rough. So, but shout out to everybody getting back to camp. I mean, Kevin, we survived. We made it through the off season.
Yes, we did.
Of no football. No offense, USFL, but USFL, you might want to get right too. Why? Because the XFL, they are here, and they will be here this time next spring.
Now I'm just waiting for Friday when the Falcons get back out there and see who's getting the early override. Boy, when they were in no pads and 7-on-7, he was looking good.
Listen. The media team or the camera squad at Atlanta, when they doing them slow down, like when the guy running the route and they just slow it up. I said, dude, that's a route. They slowing it down. So I look at Drake London's face. No, that's some good cameras. Show him getting open on AJ Terrell in one-on-ones. No, we ain't get that footage. No, you can't put it out. Can't put that
because there isn't any footage. That's the problem. There isn't any footage. We got more to come. Here it is, 3 and Out. We're talking Braves baseball. We're coming up on the trade deadline in a week from today. What the Braves might be doing. Fred Owens is going to join us. We'll also talk to Rich Stiles, host of the Back Nine Boys Golf Show, coming up a little bit later on the show as well. It is 3 and Out on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. And there it is. From D. Orlando Ledbetter Ben, Falcons wide receiver Olamide Zaccheaus saying that they are, quote, a playoff team, mostly because everyone has bought into what's being coached. There it is. Chalk it up. We can move on.
See. See, this is what I'm talking about, though. See,
so your worst is a team, and you're now a playoff team when you were not last year.
Hold on. So when you had recognizable players, what's up, Julio? What's up, Roddy? What's up, Matty Ice? What's up, Tony Gonzalez?
Calvin Ridley, 18.
What's up, Calvin Ridley? What's up, what's up, Michael Burner Turner? Now it's, I don't know who that is. Hey, Kyle Pitts. Yeah, who is that? That's Drake London. Who is that? Alden Tate. Who is that? Brian Edwards. I can appreciate optimism. I live my life by it. But Kevin, certain things, right? You just don't have to say it. Like no. It's not bad that you said it. But if you're D. Orlando, he was like, oh, here we go. Now, Jake Matthews said, hey, man, this ain't a rebuild. Did anybody ask you about that? No, I'm just telling y'all. Well, I didn't ask you, Jake. So we go from not a rebuild, no Matt Ryan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Mariota. Felipe Franks got to play tight end. Don't know if he got invited to camp. Desmond Ridder is the backup. We got a bunch of D linemen outside of Grady Jarrett, Lorenzo Carter. Don't really know a lot of them.
I mean, what would happen if somebody was just truthful? If, like, somebody got to him and said, hey, man, what do you think? We got a lot of work to do.
No.
Can you not just say that? It's like, we're a playoff team. Why? Because we bought in. We're a playoff team.
Well, here it is. No. This is a thing, too, that people don't talk enough about. When you're in the league long enough, you're learning how to do everything. I'm learning how to practice. I'm learning how to go about my business. I'm learning how to be a professional. I am learning how to shape narratives with the media. I am player X. Ben, man, how you feel about these Falcons? Man, just taking it day by day. Really, really like what I'm seeing. A lot of young guys out here. I like the energy. You guys saw the energy, right? I just think that when you look at, our division as a whole, it's about making sure, we are doing the necessary things to compete with the Bucks, to compete with the Panthers, to compete with New Orleans. And first day, trying to work some jitters out. And I'm looking forward to the season. I just said nothing. I didn't say anything. Because, Kevin, that's what you got to learn how to do. Like, Bill Belichick is the GOAT for two reasons. One, for what he's done with his career. And when he interviews, he doesn't say anything. Like, he doesn't say anything. But when I say, man, we're going to be a playoff team, based off of what? Well, Marcus Mariota what? He looked good. He looked good doing what? Throwing the ball. To who? Alden Tate. Who is that? The tall guy. Which one? Bunch of tall guys out there. I think, Kevin, too, though, sometimes certain guys, they can't turn off how they really feel about the team compared to their perception is reality. And that's scary because usually the two don't match. The crazy thing you're going to hear this year is the Falcons make the playoffs. How? How they going to do that? I'm not saying it's outside the realm of possibilities. I'm just saying, as far as like possibilities, Kevin?
Well, Olamide Zaccheaus, who will be the fourth wide receiver, feels really good about where this Falcons team is at because they've bought in to what the coaches are selling. We'll just leave it at that. We'll come back. Take three around the corner. We'll talk some Braves baseball with Fred Owens. Tomahawk Take Hour 2 as well. It's 3 and Out on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Good to have you here. It is 3 and Out all across the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Kevin Thomas, Ben Troop, hour 2. We'll hear from Fred Owens, Tomahawk Take. He will join us coming up. We'll talk Braves, getting close to the trade deadline, and more with him in just a little bit. But first, let's take 3 here on 3 and Out. All right, Ben, take 1. What is the correct size for the college football playoff? I know you and Christian talked earlier about maybe it was 16. A lot of people think, but what is the correct size for a college football playoff field?
I would go 8. I think 8 is a good barometer because, Kevin, 4 is not enough. Like, for me, it's just not. I would say 8 because, okay, if you're going to have, quote, right now, Kevin, we still got P5 last time I checked. That means that all P5 teams can have some representation in there, you would think.
Sure.
But I also say 8 because when you start talking about how many good teams are there, well, what does good mean? And here go my BJ Bennett. Oh, good versus best and all this nonsense. I just think that 8 teams means out of 130 teams, you're going to pick 8 teams. That means that, Kevin, now the regular season really does matter.
Sure.
The conference championship games matter now. And then maybe you got like automatic bids and things of that nature. But it's got to be, let me say it this way. It's got to be at least 8. I don't want you to say 8 has to be the man, but it's got to be at least, because Kevin, once again, like I said, Kevin goes to this restaurant that got 130 of the best desserts you've ever seen. And they saying, Kevin, yeah, you get to pick 4 of them. What? 4?
That's all I get.
That's all you get. Now, they said, Kevin, you get to pick 8. I got a shot of, okay. So I would say 8 minimum, 12 like maximum. Like 8, because 8 is good. 8 is so much better than 4. It don't make no sense. But I would go 8 minimum, 12 maximum, because you don't want to start getting into, quote, like a baby NCAA tournament with 16, because are there 16 teams? Are there 16 teams worth watching in the postseason? Because there are really, really good teams. So 8 is my minimum. Kevin, 12 is my maximum, because I think 12 means that you're going to have some teams that would never have had a shot. Not you, Vanderbilt. I'm sorry. But would have never had a shot to make it in. So for me, 8 minimum, 12 maximum.
Well, I mean, I've always pushed off against the every game matters crowd in this season because, I mean, let's be real. It does not. I too been, if I had to pick, it sounds like, I mean, you guys are hearing a lot of noise, 12, 16. I think 8 is probably good. I know 4 wasn't going to work and be satisfactory to a lot of folks. And you go, well, why not? Well, at least for the time being, you have 5 Power 5 conferences. You have Notre Dame. And you have 4 slots. So that means on the premise, on just the initial play the season out, 1 Power 5 conference is not going to get in. And let me tell you, these conference commissioners like to say, I mean, Greg Sankey loves to say they won the national championship. You know what he likes more than saying he won the national championship? I got 2 teams in and I got paid. That is what these the Pac-12 doesn't care. The Pac-12 commissioner shouldn't care if he wins the national championship. He wants a team in the playoff. Why? So we can get paid, get a cut of that playoff pie. That's it. So you knew it wasn't going to work. 4 teams, 5 Power 5 conferences, and Notre Dame. So if the SEC got 2 and Notre Dame got in, now you have 3 Power 5 conferences getting nothing in terms of playoff money. You want to know how the haves get more haves and the knots get more knots? That's how it works. So I think 8 would be nice. Every conference represented, and you get some at-large possibilities in there for your G5s and somebody else who may have had a slip-up in a really good conference here or there. I think that's plenty. I don't know that in any given year, the 12th place team, and much like you get to the NFL, I don't know that as we expand the playoffs, if the 12th team in the NFL really has a shot to run the gamut and win the Super Bowl. I don't know that they do. Maybe we'll see it, but I don't know. I think 8's a good number. People say, you want to make games count, put a premium on the conference championship, right? Put a premium on winning the conference championship. And we've seen it in leagues where you enter the month of November, how many leagues are still wide open? And I don't mean like, oh, well, they didn't really have a shot. Start of November, post Georgia, Florida. How many teams still mathematically had a shot to make it to Atlanta and play for an SEC championship? It was more than Georgia and Alabama. In the ACC, how many teams last year, besides Pitt and Wake, had a mathematical chance to play their way in to Charlotte and play for the ACC championship. Big Ten, how many teams had a chance to play their way? So I think you want to put a premium on the conference championship of some kind, and that gets more teams involved from the jump there. So I think that actually makes more games matter than currently, where every game certainly doesn't matter in college football. I think 8 is the right number. So we'll see. Obviously, a lot of talk, a lot of dedication to figuring all that out from the powers that be around college football, what that right number is. All right, Ben, moving along, take 2. Who will be the biggest surprise player? We kind of joked that, Trevor Lawrence. Who will be the biggest surprise player for the Jacksonville Jaguars here in 2022?
I think it's going to be Evan Ingram. and the reason why I say it is, Kevin, is Evan Ingram is a guy coming out of Ole Miss, first round pick, went to the Giants, has tremendous upside. I just think that he never ever fit. The reason why I say that, new faces and new places. Eric Ebron. Eric Ebron was a first round pick, top 10 pick, by the way. When he first came out. And I think what happened was where did he go? He went to the Detroit Lions. Didn't work out with Detroit. Goes over to the Indianapolis Colts, has a really, really good couple of years, I think, make a Pro Bowl. Evan Ingram doesn't lack ability. Evan Ingram lacks being on a good team that can utilize what he does, and he doesn't have to be the guy. So I think Evan Ingram, because when you think about the running game, yeah, I could have gone Travis Etienne, but I got to see him play his true rookie year, even because he missed last year. I could have gone Christian Kirk, but can he be a headliner? I just think for me, Evan Ingram is going to benefit from a guy like Trevor Lawrence, who got a big arm, and you got to pick who you're going to double team. I don't know if he's earned double teams right now. So for my money, I think it's going to be Evan Ingram. I think in the AFC South, to where the hardest person to cover in any offense is an athletic tight end. They are the hardest guys to cover, because you're not going to put a corner on them. You're not going to put your number one corner on the tight end. You're not going to put your slot corner on the tight end. So it's going to come down to those, athletic safeties or those linebackers. Linebackers they run and hit. They don't cover. They can't do it consistently. For my money, give me Evan Ingram, a new face in a new place with a guy like Trevor Lawrence, who I definitely think gonna find a way to get in the rock.
All right, and moving along to take 3, Ben. Georgia Southern pick 5th in the East of the Sun Belt at Sun Belt Media Days today. Will they finish higher or lower than? I know there's not much place to go, but but after the season, I know they had a rough season last year, and people say, hey, based on what we did last year, it might be right. But do you think they'll finish higher than 5th in the East?
That East is rough. I think 5. I think 5 is more respectable than people giving it credit for, because, Kevin, it's hard to pick a team with a lot of unknowns. I don't know how they're gonna look on offense. I don't know how complimentary the defense is gonna be. No, I think Coach Helton's gonna do an incredible job. You bringing in the offensive coordinator from Western Kentucky. I mean, I get that part, but what somebody did at another school with different competition doesn't necessarily translate to where you're coming. Georgia Southern, to me, is real similar to Georgia Tech. I need to know how you're going to look on the offensive side of the ball before I can start saying how you're going to look as a team. Because just like, a lot of years, that triple Georgia Tech, oh, man, that's outdated. The results will say something different. Man, Georgia Southern, man, they still running the option. The results will say something different. And it's hard. And when you get away from it, you realize, well, the spread ain't as easy as it looks. So because I don't know how they're going to look, a big question mark, I would go with 5th. Now, if they had them 2, I'll be like, do they know something I don't know? But I think what 5 does, Kevin, it makes it so that, look, you hope you don't go down, but it's a lot of opportunity to move up a couple of slots. But I got to see it because, like I said, I can tell you 2 things. I know who the best covers is.
Play the disrespect card? Or
you hope so. And Kevin, I know you love it. They're disrespecting us.
No, I think it's overused. I mean, I was like, come on. Like,
I will say this. The best P5 conference is the SEC. The best G5 is the Sun Belt. It's serious. Sun Belt football is top notch. So because, new coach, new scheme, new culture, new way of going about things, I got to see it. And Georgia Southern could come out here and just blow the doors off of people. They could. But I don't know. They coming. They got the other team by 16, which I know they don't, I don't know who. I ain't going to say who the GSU. Call it what you want to call it. Coastal. And I think 5th is respectable, because I just think that, Kevin, that's just saying we know what y'all could be, but until the rubber meets the road, man, I can't do it. It's like shoulda, coulda, wouldas. We can do those things all day, but Kevin, until that prospect comes out there and, shows what he can do, it's much to do about nothing. But hey, Coach Helton, they respect you. They respect you as a head coach. But your team is another thing. You got to go out there and earn like everybody else.
I feel like there's somewhat of an advantage to at least knowing his personnel because he came in so early, been in the process. I'm going to say they finish higher than 5th, maybe just slightly higher than 5th. But I do think there's going to be a couple. I think that's the goal in year one, Ben. Exceed expectations.
Yep.
Beat somebody you're not supposed to beat.
Yep.
Right. And they put them on notice game. Right. Hey, we're rolling around. Oh, this is going to. Oop. Hey, we did not see Georgia Southern beating team, whoever it is. App State. We did not see like whoever it is beat somebody you weren't supposed to beat. And I think you
got to earn
push
that
towards
trust.
towards the bowl game. I think you'll be off to a really good start if you're Clay Helton.
Well, Kevin, you know this. There are certain fan base. All fan bases care. I'm not saying that, but there are certain fan bases that use this word called accountable. And Georgia Southern fan base is one of those fans. They are because they want to get back to being one of the top dogs in the Sun Belt. They don't want to be competing for 3rd and 4th. No, man, we're trying to host a Sun Belt championship game, or at least be in a Sun Belt championship game. Because the thing about it is if not, Kevin, it's like. Everybody, you can look. The head coach of a team when you just got there, it's like the backup quarterback. You can do no wrong, but once you get out there and they can see it, hey man, they breaking down. Forget every game; they're breaking down every quarter. Man, we could have got this third, and because that's football nowadays. So, welcome to the social media driven world we live in. But Coach Helton understand because, like I said, Kevin. He was the first big domino to fall. I thought he was going to stay P5. For him to be at Georgia Southern, he knows something we don't. But that tradition in Georgia Southern, just like a lot of other teams in this state, you can't run from that. Let's see if he's going to add to it, or that seat is already hot.
That's right. Hey, that's Take 3. We do it each and every day. This time we'll come back. Fred Owens will join us. We're talking Braves baseball with him next. It is 3 and Out on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Good to have you back. Here it is, 3 and Out. Kevin and Ben, thanks for making us a part of your day. Braves and the Phillies coming up a little bit later tonight. Ben, as Braves lose last night, about a week out from the trade deadline as well. And we'll see what moves Alex Anthopoulos has up his sleeves. Reports he's inquired about getting Jock Peterson back. So we'll have to wait and see as we effort Fred Owens here, Tomahawk Take. We'll chat with him here, hopefully in just a moment.
Kevin, if the legend returns, right? I mean, the thing about Jock Peterson, Kevin, let's face it. I mean, he's a legend in Braves history, no matter what. Obviously helping, he was part of the big three. If you want to call him that last year, him, Soler, and Rosario, and just bringing a looseness to the team. Now, look, fellas, like I've been on bad teams, so at the end of the day, hopefully we bring back Jock. If he doesn't find himself in another Braves uniform, man, wish him the best, but I would love to have him back.
And we shall see. Joining us here from Tomahawk Take, good friend of the show, Fred Owens, joins us. Fred, welcome. How are you?
Oh, I'm chasing my tail here, trying to make a flight to Georgia. So what's up, gang?
Hey, we are doing fantastic. Who else might be catching a flight to Georgia potentially here as we're a week out from the trade deadline? Does Alex Anthopoulos have any more, aces up his sleeve?
Well, I don't know. I mean, start off with the hard question, why don't you? I think, there are some options out there. You could talk about a guy like Anthony Santander from Baltimore, left fielder, switch hitter, having a really good season in Baltimore, would kind of fill in that gap out there. Needs to sort of be a guy who can play the outfield every day so that we can, move people around. It would help if he was center field capable, but there aren't too many of those around. The Phillies will tell you they've been turned over every rock to get one. You might get a guy, just somebody who's off the bench. You might get somebody like Tony Kemp, who's capable of second base and the outfield. He doesn't have much power, but he's a good defender. But I'll tell you what, the pickings are pretty slim out there for quality corner outfielders. Soler is injured with the Dodgers. He's got having back spasms again, and quite often bringing people back expecting the same magic just really doesn't work. If the Giants were to fall out of it, I could see Jock Peterson coming back, but I don't think the Giants are going to sell. And I don't know that they would move Jock anyway because he seems to like it there. So, you're talking about somebody like Anthony Santander or maybe one of the Oakland guys, Piscotty or one of those guys.
And Fred, how much pressure has a guy like Alex Anthopoulos put on himself? Like, obviously, what happened last year, I don't remember ever happening in baseball or any sport there is at the trade deadline. But does he have to be aggressive at the trade deadline, or if there's nobody out there, can he say, "Look, we went out there, we didn't see anybody that could help us"? Does he have to indeed make a move?
Well, what he did last year is really kind of unprecedented. And I think, sitting alone, he would tell you that he was really, really lucky that three guys who have not traditionally been dependable batters all of a sudden came through for him at once. Eddie Rosario was a streaky guy with the Twins. They let him go because he was a streaky guy, and they had better players coming. Soler's been up and down. I don't know that, it's just he has to be aggressive in going out there and looking, but Alex isn't going to make a deal just to make a deal. In other words, he's not going to go grab somebody because that's the hot name on ESPN or Fox or any of the talk shows. He's going to find a deal he can live with. And if it's something he can live with that fits in the future plans, that's fine. Otherwise, a 1 year and thanks for your effort deal is good as well. I don't know where he's going to look. We've been talking this over amongst the writers and going places. Andrew Benintendi is probably an option, but again, a lot of people are looking at Benintendi. In fact, Benintendi is a guy I've wanted for a couple of years, but whether he would actually be the guy now that there's such a high profile. I mean, I saw the Yanks run on him, a couple other teams run on him, Padres maybe. You might pick up a guy like Tommy Pham off the Reds, but he's not having a particularly great year. So it's just a question of looking and trying to read the tea leaves and finding out which player is flying under the radar that's actually available. For some of these teams, they just aren't going to trade anybody because they don't figure it's worth their while. So it's hard to say who he'll get. I don't know. I expect him to go after somebody. Yes, I think he has to replace Duvall, but who that might be, might as well just give me a dartboard and blindfold me.
Fred Owens, Tomahawk Take joining us. Might Kirby Yates be the guy that comes in to solidify up the bullpen, or are there more moves than that need to be made?
Well, if Kirby Yates comes up and he resembles Kirby Yates of 2019, he doesn't have to be lights out, shut down closer. Although based on our closers lately, that would be a nice thing. He needs to be a dependable power arm that you stick out there and not worry about him going crazy. A lot of that's going to depend on his control, his ability to command the ball and place it where he wants it. If his stuff's back and his command's there, sure, he's the guy. If not, then you're going to have to find somebody. I don't think there's a power arm a right-handed power arm in our bullpen that we can actually depend on. Besides Jansen, and boy, I don't know, he's been a little shaky lately. But everybody needs relief pitching. There are pitchers out there. Efros from the Cubs is a possibility. And again, in Washington is a possibility. But how much of an upgrade it's going to be, I don't know. I think they'd really like Yates to be the guy, and they'll make a decision pretty soon. He's pitching this week. And they'll know by the end of this week whether he's the guy or not.
Ronald Acuna Jr. has been a guy that obviously we understand the talent. We understand the way he can do when he's been at his best. Hasn't really been his best a lot this season. I mean, if he can come around and start playing better, how much more does that make a guy like Alex Anthopoulos understand? I still got to make a move, but at least my superstar is making more key contributions on this squad.
Well, I don't know. See, everybody got the wrong idea about Ian Anderson last year because he's so good in postseason, but his command's been off this year. He's been leaving the ball over the fat part of the plate, and frankly, he's a guy who has to have perfect command and location to make it work. I wish I could see it that Allie's going to go out and get Juan Soto, but and theoretically we have the people to do that. But whether Washington would actually trade him in division, that's something else. Pitching is kind of rare. Everybody out there needs it. Nobody has much of it. And so it's expensive. I don't know. Again, I'd like to see him get a starter. It doesn't have to be a first division. It doesn't have to be Castillo or Montas or one of those guys. But, a starter that you can bring in like Thor, for example. Syndergaard would be an ideal fit. For me, he could take innings at the back. He doesn't panic over the game situation. And he's a better pitcher now than he used to be. Although his fastball's down, his location's better, and his slider's really good. So, you get one of those guys in there, maybe that's enough. I don't know. I just think they've got to do something in the rotation.
Fred Owens, Tomahawk Take, joining us here on 3 and Out. And Fred, what's kind of your take on Ronald Acuna? I know fans on Twitter, I don't even worry about that, but is this a guy that maybe not 100% recovered from that knee? What's kind of your thought on how he's played as of late? And is there a corner that you feel is about to get turned and he kind of returns to form?
Well, I tell you what, I wish I had the answer to that. Nobody wants this more than Ronnie wants this. He's working on this every day, but sometimes you get all wrapped up in it and it gets in your head a little bit. And I think, I don't know. See, I think that maybe he's taken his bat to the outfield with him a little bit lately, and he's thinking about how he can get back under. His timing is just off. He's hitting over the ball. He's not hitting the ball square. He's hitting line drives, but got no launch angle on him. And I think he's thinking so much about it that sometimes you just think too much, and it just becomes something you can't get rid of. He could wake up one morning and all of a sudden he can hit it again and hit it and get it again. I think he misses Ozzie a lot because Ozzie would be in his back pocket and helping him out of this. And having Albie's not around, I think bothers Ronnie a bit. Maybe I'm projecting something, but it sure looks to me like he's a happier player when Ozzie's around. I just don't know. I think that he's feeling the pressure a little bit to be the guy, and that bothers me because if he's thinking about the pressure, he's not going to be able to play at his best. And I think that's what we've seen lately.
And Fred, when you think about this team and what they was able to do in June, obviously carrying over into the month of July, do you think it comes down to them winning the division this year, catching those Mets, and winning the division for the 5th year in a row, or do you see themselves nestling into that first wild card spot?
Well, I think winning the division has to be the priority, and I think that we need to get up on top of them and stay with them the rest of the year. So yeah, winning the division has to be a priority. But if at some point it falls away, and we look at it and realistically say, well, we can't get there from here, then we have to make sure we solidify that number 2 spot and try to win as many games as we can in that race. It is important to have the home field advantage. And of course, the other way around, that's go out and take it away from whoever's got it. We don't have that much trouble on the road this year. It's not like for a couple of years ago we couldn't win on the road. I think that winning the division is front and center. I don't think Brian Snitker or anybody on the staff is thinking about anything except overhauling the Mets and putting them in the rearview mirror. Whether we can do that or not with Scherzer and Scherzer back and DeGrom coming back, I don't know. They're a lot better team than they were last year, but they have their fallacies, they have their faults, and I think he's going to aim for winning the division. And failing that, we'll be strong in second.
Fred Owens, Tomahawk Take, joining us here on 3 and Out. Fred, always a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Oh, take care, guys. Stay warm. Stay safe.
I would think that he would want it that way, Kevin. And he understands now that he's earned the trust of everybody in the organization. Not saying he didn't have it before, but give him a lot of credit. I mean, being the GM, he got to know that, look, I got to see what no one else sees. And obviously the scouts are telling him, look, I'm telling you, they're saying Rosario, Peterson, Soler, they were having okay or bad season with the team that was on. This culture means, hey, if he catches fire, he can be this. And obviously, Kevin, you hope lightning strikes twice. But I think that, you got to replace Duvall. You can always add a pitcher, always add, you can add, and I think that we forget. Ozzie, he's coming back here soon. Still doesn't help you out of left field. Ian Anderson, as he mentioned, hasn't been himself, lately. But I just think that if you win the division, everything got to come through the ATL. That helps out a lot, and I just think that now he's going to be more, not cautious, not the word I would use, but I think it's like, look, I got to be able to have a guy that can help us right now and blend in with this ball club, which shouldn't be hard. But I think he's earned. But if Jock Peterson can come back to the ATL, man, we would definitely welcome back with open arms.
I would be interested to see if they pull off that move. Apparently, there's been interest from the Atlanta Braves in trying to make that happen. We got more to come here on 3 Night, including some breaking news out of the National Football League that if you're a Falcons fan, you're probably not going to like. I'll just say that. We'll come back. It's 3 and Out on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Good to have you back. Here it is, 3 and Out. Kevin Thomas, he has been true. Ben, Falcons fans not going to like what I have to say now. Well, the Tampa Bay Bucks went out and made a move. So we already are upset that Tom Brady's on the team. They've been to a Super Bowl, conference championship game. Just enough Tom Brady. The Tampa Bay Bucks are signing 7-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Julio Jones and former Falcon to a 1-year deal, according to ESPN. So Julio Jones, Falcons legend, will be in division playing with Tom Brady, trying to kick you in the teeth. I don't even know what to say.
Kevin,
an embarrassment of riches in Tampa Bay.
It goes to show you, right, the difference in teams that are going for it and teams that are rebuilding. There was some sources that said when Julio Jones first got let go by the Tennessee Titans, could a Falcons reunion be out there? And they said, well, that's obviously over with now. When you think about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what are they doing? They are investing in Tom Brady. Chris Godwin, re-signed. Mike Evans, under contract. Leonard Fournette, re-signed. Justin Gage, coming over from the Falcons. Kyle Rudolph, replacing Gronk. Now, Julio Jones. So let me get this straight. You could run out Julio, Chris Godwin, Kyle Rudolph, Leonard Fournette, and Mike Evans. Ooh. Well, AJ Terrell, you can lock down one of them. Who gonna cover Chris Godwin? Who gonna cover Kyle Rudolph? Julio Jones seems to be a guy that wants to end his career on top. He wants to do all he can to try to get a Super Bowl, and he knows who's going to give me the best opportunity to win a Super Bowl. I don't know, a guy that's won 7 of them. 7. He's went to 10, and he won 7. Come on, man. So, yeah, Kevin.
That's not going to be a good sign. I don't want to see Julio Jones.
I'm not mad at Julio Jones. I think
I am. I don't want to see. I'd rather him have gone to Green Bay.
And I'm going to say this once again. Shout out to Roddy White.
Go play with Aaron Rodgers.
Roddy White, at the end of his career with the Falcons, could have signed with the New Orleans Saints. He said, I'm going to retire. Roddy White is the GOAT. Because he could have made some money, but he couldn't say. He said, it just ain't in me to put on that black and gold, man. Yeah. I'm not going from one dome to another dome. But Julio was like, bump that. I'm going to Tampa Bay. And this is another reason why, right? Obviously, because of the money situation in Atlanta, had to move on from. That's why we signed the whole 2021 the whole 2021 draft class. He goes to Tennessee, and it didn't work out. Injury riddle season. I'm not going to play for. I'll play for an aging superstar as long as he don't play like the aging part. The superstar I could take. It wasn't really his cup of tea. He can go to Tampa and say, hey, man, I don't got to be the man. Like Mike Evans is younger than me. Chris Godwin is younger than me. Those guys are going to be, but I could be that number 3. Maybe, I could be that, maybe a solid number 2, depending on what happens. You said it, Kevin.
You get an age at 33 for a receiver. That's you're about at the end of the road.
Unless your name is
Larry Fitzgerald,
and I know people like to hear this, but in football years, Julio the same age as Tom Brady, because one has to run all the time. Julio runs every play, every single play he's running, and he's big, he's explosive, right? But the thing is, once again, Kevin, Moneyball, I'm not paying you, Julio, for the player you were. I'm paying you for what you got left. That's it. We'll need you to go over the top, but now and again, show a little, old Julio. You ain't finna be running away from people. And I'm finna run, sack, tackle. Because Kevin, name a player that got faster as they got older. Usain Bolt, he's the fastest man ever. That's it. Everybody's getting slower.
Jerry Rice, I don't know.
The fastest 40 you ever gonna run is when you coming out. I ain't got no kids, I ain't got no wife, I ain't got no bills. Let's get it. After that, I ain't getting faster. Like, isn't that somebody? Yeah, man. When I was 30, I ran like a 4.6. When I was 40, I ran a 4.4. How? Like, that doesn't happen. So Julio, I guess, congratulations, going down there with them Bucks. But he's going to a place, Kevin, that he's not the focal point. He can just add, to an offense that was already loaded. And if they, so the only person that's mad now was Justin Gage. Like, thanks a lot, Julio. I was gonna get some PT. Tom Brady, That Ty Bowles said, Tom, what you lacking? I mean, I can use another receiver. All right, we got you. And think about it, Kevin, 7-time Pro Bowler, future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest to ever see. I'm getting it for the low. 1 year. I'll take it.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that'll hop on that Tom Brady train if they think they can get a ring out of it.
It's gonna be some. Now we have that Tennessee, two-tone blue. I thought used to look good. Yeah, I'm biased.
Well, that was the thought that between him and AJ Brown, you're like, we're just gonna out physical everybody.
Now, Kevin, hold on, though. Mm-hmm. This is what people ain't saying. Mike Evans, what, 6'4", 6'5"? Julio, what, 6'2", 6'3"? Looking real similar to them Falcons. Only difference is players that you know what you can expect from them. The other players are just tall right now. Ryan Ellis, Alden Tate, Cordell Patterson, Drake London. So is that a little, and Julio kind of wants to do this, Kevin. Steve Smith Jr., he leaves Carolina. He goes to Baltimore because he looked at the schedule, saw the Carolina Panthers.
Right.
Well, Julio knows I'm going to get them Falcons twice. Y'all think I ain't good enough no more? All right, let's see.
Is there that much of it? Because I think the Falcons let him go because of a money situation, not because
no. Yes and no. Yes, because Kevin, come on, Kevin, you know how it is. Kevin, if there's a team that, you a baseball player, you heard the scouting report, they say, yeah, man, he's not really our cup of tea. You go to another team, you're like, hey, we playing who? Yeah, I ain't even see that. Yeah, I did. And I'm trying to go yard on them. Because it's
I understand that, but I don't feel like it was a bad breakup with the Falcons. No. I understand maybe you want to put up some good numbers, but like the Falcons got rid of him because he cost too much.
A lot.
Not because they didn't think he could still play.
No. A lot. It cost a lot. And when it came time to get in that end zone, I mean, so we'll see. But shout out to Julio Jones. Like I said, he's trying to get the last year or so left in his career, and he's a big enough draw to be able to go to a team like Tampa to where I don't have to be a focal point. I think the problem was last year with the Titans, they expected him to be something he wasn't. Like, yeah, man, you a good player, but I'm an aging player. And, A.J. Brown, I mean, he's what, 24, 25. Julio, 33. So Julio went through college. Julio could have went through college twice, and A.J. Brown still wouldn't have played with him. You see what I'm saying? So I understand it, but shout out to Julio Jones, man, trying to, and another thing too, Kevin, if he don't work out, all that, look, man, if you don't work out, we can always let you go. That's the thing. That's the thing about the one you did that people don't like. You talking about that language. Hey, man, we'll give you a little something. But if it ain't working out, and your key don't work on Monday, come
I just saw that and I was like, as if the Falcons didn't have enough uphill problems.
Come on, man. Now, if it's going to be hard enough. Now, if Antonio Brown signed with the Falcons, we got a problem.
He's gonna sign with the Falcons.
He's walking around with leather jumpsuits on, doing music. He's a music mogul now. He does music. And Kevin, when I show you the video during the break, you're gonna be like, "What's wrong with Antonio Brown?" Exactly. What's wrong with him? Out there looking like
people are saying that when he played in the league. What's wrong?
What it is, Kevin? No, you go from football. You're supposed to go from football to broadcasting or home, not football to when. I mean, hot as it is, it's hot everywhere right now in the South. He got on a leather long jacket and pants, dancing. I'm gonna show it to you. You're gonna be like, "What's wrong?" It's crazy. It's crazy.
You're not buying the album, though. Is that what?
No, hell no.
We got more to. It's 3 and Out on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. It is 3 and Out here on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Ben, Braves and the Phillies coming up tonight. We are about a week out from the trade deadline, so we'll see what Alex Anthopoulos has up his sleeve. If anything, obviously he's reached out about Jock Peterson and some others, but obviously made a big splash in the latter stages of July last year. A lot of people, I guess, expecting the same from a Braves team that's a game and a half out behind the Mets here in the East.
Kevin, I mean, should we expect anything otherwise? Bigger, because last year was just a combination of 3 years of doing, building the team, building the culture. You was able to put it together. Because once again, if the team that's already in place isn't put together, Jock Peterson, Rosario Soler, it'll be much to do about nothing. Kevin, once again, they said, hey, man, we really get to drive this Ferrari? Yeah, just don't wreck it. And they didn't wreck it, right? And that's what happens when you come to a team to where I don't got to be the guy. I'm just a piece. I'm not the piece. What they say, if I can't be the man, I could just be one of the men that's there. And Kevin, because of last year, people say, hey, man, you need a whole season. No, you need to have some moments of brilliance. And Rosario, Peterson, Kevin, is there a better moment? Soler hit the home run, looks to the side and say, I'm here. I'm here. Thank God you were here, sir. We miss you, but Miami did not get the same player that the Braves got. Definitely.
No, not at all. And again, we'll see what he has up his sleeve. Alex Anthopoulos plays this thing close to the chest. That's why you see all this stuff. It's like, hey, going after Jock, We didn't know anything about Soler till it broke. Jock Peterson. It was Alex Anthopoulos coming out. Hey, we've made a move. How many people saw Matt Olson coming?
0.
Even in spring training, people were saying, well, if the Braves don't re-sign Freddie, these are the possibilities that are out there. And all of a sudden, Alex says, oh, by the way, we traded for Matt Olson. Oh, by the way, on the plane ride from Arizona and Cactus League to here, we got Matt an 8-year deal. You did what now? Like, that was kind of one of those things where people were like, okay, so you didn't get Freddie, but you got Matt, and you got him in it. Alex Anthopoulos has a way of surprising people. And I feel like he plays things very close to the vest, Ben. And to project or predict what Alex Anthopoulos is going to come out with here in the next week, who knows? I feel like there's some moves that we can speculate on, but I feel like since Alex Anthopoulos has been the GM, moves have been speculated on, deals have been speculated on, and usually they don't happen, and it's something else, and you go, well, I never saw that coming. And you were so quiet about it, Alex. We didn't have time to get upset about it.
Yep.
We didn't even have time to go, what are you doing?
Yep.
You just did it, and you're like, okay, we'll see what happens. Jock Peterson worked, Rosario worked, Jorge Soler worked. Can you get a similar deal on the cheap here at the trade deadline and have it work out the way it did a year ago?
Yes, Kevin, and the reason why he can get a deal on the cheap is because you know what he's offering? What? A winning team, a team that matters. It used to be, we are a team that could compete for a World Series. No, we are the defending World Series champs. You want to come over here with us? That's the best bargaining chip I think you have. Alex Anthopoulos goes, yeah, is Ronnie really that good? Yep. Is Matt Olson really a double machine? Yep. Does Austin Riley really go? Yep. Yep. Across the board. And we got bling over here. You want to be a part of this?
Well, I think he's been able to find value where a lot of people didn't see it.
It's almost like because he knows what he's not working with the money. Hey man, somebody call Alex. Hey man, he's looking for 30. You got the wrong area code.
Who's this? You better come down on that price.
Josh Donaldson is the highest paid Brave for one season. That's all you got to know in Braves history.
And they let him go. And I mean, didn't come back after that. We got more to come. Final hour. It is 3 and Out. We'll lead you up to Braves and Phillies all across the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Final hour of 3 and Out. Kevin and Ben leading up to the Braves and the Phillies. Game 2. Braves a game and a half behind the Mets in the East. So chance to maybe take one back with Spencer Strider on the mound tonight for the Atlanta Braves. But our next guest, who joins us every Tuesday, we always talk golf with him here on the show. Host of the Back Nine Boys Golf Show, Rich Stiles, joins us. Rich, how's it going?
It's going great, guys.
Appreciate you coming on and joining us, Rich. I understand you played 100 holes of golf yesterday. Why would you do that?
It was for the first tee of the Golden Isles. They were raising money, so you get sponsorships, and there were about 20 men and women playing, and they raised enough money to start a middle school program under the first tee of the Golden Isles. It was a great event. Kind of a long day, but, I got in a few holes there.
I was going to say, Rich, I did the math, and that's always scary when you ask me to do math, but that's like, 5.5 rounds of golf? Did you even care what you shot, or did you just wheel the old golf cart up there and hang the 7-iron out and give it a shot?
Well, you do care a little bit, and then as you get towards the end, you don't care. All you care about is that you hit the ball. You don't really care where the ball goes. You're just trying to get done.
Rich, obviously you talk about a great cause. Congratulations, raising the money to be able to start a middle school program. But as you mentioned, towards the end, what did the end look like, Rich, when you finally got to the final back nine, whatever? Like, how much energy did you have left? And more importantly, how did you spend your day today?
Well, 2 questions. I'm going to try and remember both of those, Ben. The first question is, at the end, you just don't really care. You're just trying to get through it, knowing you've got 9 holes left. You start counting down by 1s or 2s, depending upon how you're counting at that particular time. Staying hydrated was a key issue. And how I handled today, I actually went out and played 18 holes today.
Rich, you are a trooper. I got to say, for me, as bad as I am when I have played in the past, if I would have played like hurry up golf, I probably would have done better than if I just actually went out there and tried. Like, I think the best 18 would have probably been that third group of 18 where it's like, all right, I'm just trying to hit the ball. I don't even care. I probably would have shot my best score in that middle 18.
Well, and that's the key. You really aren't supposed to really care what you shot, even though some people did keep score, and I actually did for a couple rounds. But the point is that you don't worry about your swing. You just look at the yardage. You look at the club that you normally hit. Just get up over the ball, and it takes a lot of the thoughts out of your head that you normally would take when you play only 18. You're saying, oh my gosh, there's water, there's a tree, there's da-da-da, there's this in the way, there's a house, there's a window. You really don't care at that point. All you're trying to do is just hit the ball and then go to the next shot. So it's really, I think, a good way to play, and it's a good way to try and train your mind just to look at the shot, look at your target, get over it, and hit it.
Training your mind is one thing, Rich. Training your body is another thing. How long does it take to play 5.5 rounds of golf?
Well, I was by myself, so I was in a cart by myself, so it was much faster. Some guys were 2 in a cart, which I think would slow it down a little bit. But we started about 7:15, and I got done about 3:45 yesterday.
That's a long afternoon, Rich. But looking ahead on the PGA Tour, how do they handle the next month? Obviously, it's been the summer of PGA versus LIV. The LIV is, obviously out there. Now you're leading up to the PGA Championship in the next month. How do you think the PGA Tour and company kind of navigate the publicity scene, if you will, for the next month leading up to the Tour Championship?
Well, I'm not sure that LIV is going to go away as far as social media and a lot of the writers, and there's still going to be questions. There's now rumors of other players going, as many as 3 to 6 players. Some, well-known names, some not so well-known, but the point of the matter is now we're coming up with, 2-3 events left, and Detroit, and then you got the Wyndham up in Greensboro, North Carolina, and then you got the playoffs. So now it's crunch time. I mean, it's where you want to try and get into the top 125 in order to begin the playoffs. Then it's a cut down to 70. Then it's a cut down to 30 for the Tour Championship at East Lake. So now it's you're pedal to the metal or metal to the pedal, whatever you say, and you're just trying to make that 125 to get into the first playoff event, and then you're trying to make it to the second. And getting from 125 to 70 for that second is tough. It really is dependent upon how well you play and how badly 49 other people play. So, the main thing that you want to do is get your card for next year, and that's what the top 125 are going to strive for.
And Rich, due to kind of when those guys started dropping out, like the live guys are done for the playoffs, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, they're that's all PGA playoffs, and they're done. They're not going to be in it, and now it's just okay, who's next and how much are they going to get? I mean, there's been so many rumors out there, and there's been so many stories out there. Most of them are unfounded, but one of the stories is that LIV offered NBC $300 million for what was the Golf Channel, and then another report that they offered Hideki Matsuyama, who was the Masters winner, $400 million to play on the LIV Tour. So, I mean, there's just an enormous amount of funds out there for them to play with. And you say, well, they're not going to do that. Well, they've got enough money to do whatever they want. And right now they're not worried about making back any kind of investment. So it's really a strange world out there where money is the main object at this point. How much can I get in the shortest period of time?
And Rich, how surprised were you last week? And I was in a rush today, and I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head. The captain of the Ryder Cup team for the Europeans just was the captain. And basically, he's like, nope, I'm giving that up. I know the Ryder Cup's later, but I'm giving that up. I'm moving on. How surprised were you that happened?
Well, I was a little bit surprised. Henrik Stenson is who you're trying to remember, and
yes,
I'm surprised that he would let the Ryder Cup captaincy. A lot of players strive to be able to be in the discussion to be chosen as a Ryder Cup captain. It's really an honor to be chosen, and when you take that captaincy and you kind of throw it out the window and then look at the money that you're going to get, he could have waited and gone after the Ryder Cup and at least done his country right by following through on what he committed to last year. So I was disappointed in the fact that he did it at this time, that he has to resign as the Ryder Cup captain, which I think is the right thing to do. But I think he may have thought that maybe they would still let him be Ryder Cup captain. But I'm actually glad that they didn't. Now there's rumors of who it's going to be. At this point, there's not much to do until the fall or beginning of next year for the Ryder Cup for 2023. So again, I was disappointed that he even did it and had to resign his Ryder Cup captaincy.
And Rich, I mean, I know I ask you seemingly this every other week now. As long the LIV Tour is not going away, obviously the PGA Tour is. I mean, that's what everybody respects. At what point do you think the two entities sit down and say, okay, how can we potentially make this thing work? Because obviously we got the name and the prestige, and obviously y'all got an unlimited wealth of funds. How can we bridge this gap?
I'm not sure it's going to happen, Ben. I don't think they'll ever work together. I can tell you they will not work together as long as Greg Norman is involved with the LIV tournament. Just because of the background of over 35 years, he seems to be trying to bring down the PGA Tour and all the other tours and get whatever players he can to commit. I think he's putting a notch on his belt. I think each time he gets somebody, but I do not see them working together for a lot of reasons. And I had a guy on my show on last Saturday that really believed that Greg Norman in the near future or within a year will not be with LIV commissionership anymore. And there'll have to be somebody else who is going to be able to have a better name, not be fighting to, for a grudge and maybe do it for better reasons. But at this time, I do not see the PGA Tour and the Live Tour coming together and try and figure out a way how they can work together.
Why do you think Norman would be out? Just age, or what makes you say that?
He's not well liked. He's very arrogant, and I just think that he's out for Greg. I think he's out for the wrong reasons at this point. He's out to see what he can do to hurt the PGA Tour based on what happened when he tried to start a golf tour 30 some odd years ago. And Tim Finchem, the then commissioner of the PGA Tour, said, "No way, it's not going to happen." And the answer is no. And so I'm just not sure that Greg is the guy to lead Live into whatever future they have.
Rich Stiles, host of the Back Nine Boys Golf Show, our guest here on 3 and Out. Rich, appreciate the time.
Okay, guys, thank you, and please pass the sunscreen.
We'll do it. You can hear Rich Saturday and Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. And hey, after 100 holes of golf, you probably need plenty of that sunscreen. But it's going to be interesting to watch that play out as the golf world turns, as the case may be. We got a lot to get to coming up. Jags at training camp. The Falcons veterans coming to training camp. Their first practice coming up on Friday. We'll get to that and more. It's 3 and Out on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Good to have you back here on 3 and Out. Training camps opening up around the NFL. Falcons veterans back at it, or at least reporting today. Ben, when do you report versus actually start doing something? I know their first practice is on Friday. So if you're a veteran, what are you doing? Well, it's Tuesday. You don't practice till Friday. What are you doing?
I think a lot of times, so you want to get acclimated quick because once a lot of guys get in early so they can go ahead and get that conditioning test like done with. And you want to get you're trying to get your mind right. So a lot of guys are they in the film room, they out there running, they're out there, and sometimes it's not as if like when you hear the veterans arrive. If I arrive with the rookies, they're gonna let me jump in and do some work. So full disclosure, if I have to be there on Friday, Benjamin is there on Friday. I wasn't one of those players because I know, Kevin, that once training camp is a whirlwind. It's like once it starts, it doesn't stop because you got to practice. You got meetings, practice, try to get some sleep, back to practice again. It's like it never ever stops. So I respect those players that come in early, but now real football is starting. No, I know they're gonna do a bunch of. I know now they do a better job of protecting the players. I don't want to do this back when I played stuff, but that hitting every single day, that's over with. Because when it comes to quote mental health or trying to take care of the players, they're trying to make sure that the best players make it to Sunday. Kevin, a game, I'm sorry, but it's bad enough that when the Saints play the Falcons, you got Jameis Winston versus Marcus Mariota, right? No more Drew Brees and Tom Brady and all these different things. So you want to make sure that the best players, aka the ones that sell the tickets, are at the stadium, on Sunday. But training camp is serious now. Make no mistake about it. You're going to get plenty of reps. And for those veterans that's in year 12, 13, like Andre Whitworth, when he was with the Rams, he didn't practice during the week. So training camp for here was more just staying in shape. Hey, man, I know what I'm doing when I'm out there. I didn't make it that long in my career, so I'm practicing every single day. It's called football legs. You got to get your football legs under you. But whatever you did or didn't do in the offseason, it's going to show. If you're out of shape, it's going to show. If you've been sitting around just, eating good, feeling good, it's going to show. And it's a bad look because, for one, please, please, please don't fail your conditioning test. When I was with the Titans, how we used to do our conditioning test was like this. Everybody got to do, you got to do these 300-yard shuttles. Now, if you showed up to the off-season workouts, you get to go 50 yards and back. So that's 3 times up and back. That's 300 yards. If you didn't show up to off-season programs, you got to do 25 yards and back. So now you're going from 3 times to 6 times. And for those of you who say, oh, man, that couldn't be that big of it is huge. Because how they do your conditioning test, you do it back to back. You got to do 300-yard shuttles in under a minute. So that first one, you go. You're going 50. Boom, boom. You feeling nice. And this the thing. The other groups are going in front of you. And the time it take you to go, man, that hand on the line. And this is the thing. That second one, while you feel like you're running as fast, that last turn, it's like, bro, this is all adrenaline. This is all momentum. But you don't want to be the one that they say, 61. You just missed it. We'll give you a minute and you can try it again. The worst hell no come to my mind. So I just think that for me, Kevin, if you are a veteran, act like it. You're going to start seeing why Tom Brady, Aaron Donald, Aaron Rodgers, the best players are the best players because they don't come in out of shape. They don't because they don't want any reason because you are a reflection of the GM, the head coach, your position. You don't want to do that. Aaron Rodgers, even though he's tucking in his wife beat, it looked like a photo shoot. He's getting out the car with his little bag. Right? Like I've never understood why guys come into training camp holding a bag. You could go home. What you got a bag for? But rookies, find you someone who is willing to bring you under their wing and show you the ropes. That is so important. I saw a video today of Cam Jordan of the Saints doing a video showing, pass rushing techniques. And I see Calais Campbell. I see Max Crosby. I'm seeing the big names. And I said this, you have arrived as a football player when I can tell you what I do. When I can tell you what I do, I have arrived. Because that's how confident I am in my ability. I don't care that the O-line can see this. They still got to stop me. That's what I love about football. When I'm watching Travis Kelce talking to Kyle Pitts. Because Kyle Pitts like, because Travis going, bruh, yeah, you chasing me. So no matter what you do, it's been done already. Yeah, you the first rookie to go over 1,000 yards. I'm the first tight end to go 5 straight years over 1,000 with touchdowns and a Super Bowl. So that's what football is becoming, is tight end you. You know, even though tight end started it. So when he's DN you and all, y'all boys get to fall. No, but it's a great time though, Kevin, because I want to see how much better I've gotten as a football player, and I want to prove I belong. That's all training camp. You got to prove you belong. If not, don't steal. Because I can't remember his name, running back out there with Seattle. I think only been in the league like 5 years, just announced his retirement. It ain't for everybody. So,
right.
Hey, man.
And look, and again, the Falcons will be back at it. Jags have already been at it. Trevor Lawrence apparently looking good. Josh Allen talking about just the difference and said, hey, we have a professional locker room this year. We didn't have that last year.
Nope.
And how much of a difference do you think that makes, really? I mean, Ben, at the end of the day, obviously it was a office distraction. If you call the locker room the office, it was a distraction with everything that Urban Meyer did. Now, if you had Doug Peterson all year last year versus Urban Meyer, are you winning more games? No, I'm asking. I was like, if you take all that away and you say, hey, we just have Doug Peterson last year instead, is that Jags team winning 5 games? Are they winning 6 games?
Maybe.
Like, so my point being, Urban Meyer's gone. You have players say we have a professional locker room. They're treating us like men. We have a professional environment. We show up to work in every day. It's a whole completely different ball game. Does that translate to wins? Does that translate to the Jags winning 6 games?
It could, Kevin, because this is the thing. The main thing when it comes to sports is to eliminate every distraction. Not some of them, all of them. One of the biggest distractions is our head coach. Like, he's the biggest distraction. He's talking trash to the players. He's talking trash to the assistant coaches. He kicking people. He tripping. Like, he really, really is losing his mind. And Kevin, it's like this. You've been in radio long enough to know how it used to be compared to how it is now.
Back in my day.
But what happens is, just imagine if you said, yeah, man, when you first got in the radio, your radio station is outside under a tarp.
Oh God.
And listen, hey, welcome to 3. Like, but that's what you do every day. Then all of a sudden somebody brings you in the studio. You're like, whoa, this way y'all work? Yeah. And you know what they're gonna say? Ain't this how your studio look? You like, no. Last year,
I think you say I've never had to broadcast as a quote studio under a tarp. I've never had to.
Think about the Jags though. The Jags. This is my first year in the NFL. This is my first job.
Right.
And my head coach is a nut. Like, seriously, like Urban Meyer.
And that's putting it nicely. I
am. I will say this. When's the last time a quarterback said, man, this is a professional locker room? What? Like, guys go, like, here you go. The worst place to be as a professional is to show up to work and not know what to expect. I should know. I know we're going to be in meetings. I don't know what they're going to say. I got assistant coaches giving my head coach the side eye. I got an assistant coach telling the running backs coach not to put in James Robinson because Carlos Hyde played for me at Ohio State. What the hell does that mean? This ain't Ohio State. That's the Colts over there, man. And I think that's the thing, dog. You got to learn how to be a professional. I got drafted, so I'm a pro. I got to learn how to be a professional. Well, if the guy that's showing me don't know how to be a professional, what is that going to mean for me? So I don't know if it leads to more wins, but the more comfortable I am at work, the better I perform doing it. And on Sunday, hopefully you'll get this. Doesn't mean they're going to win, but am I giving my best foot forward when I'm getting ready to run in as freaking James Robinson? Whoa, Carlos. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, here you go. Hey, fellas, before we begin, yeah, who's number 99 for the Rams? What? Who's number 99?
He looks pretty good.
He like this. Oh, you know who he is? And you like this. Is this a joke? Yeah. That's like saying, I don't know, who's number 12, you know what I'm saying, for Green Bay? Aaron Rodgers. Is he good? I'm like, that's what I'm saying, Kevin. It's like, I mean, I think certain things, you just had to be there. That's what it was for them. Bro, when I'm out the league and I no longer try, I can talk about, because the one thing you got to learn too is I don't really want to talk too bad about what happened because I'm still in this industry.
I mean, Josh Allen, leader of the defense, saying, "Look, it's completely different." I can only imagine what Trevor Lawrence is saying.
If I'm Josh Allen, I'm asking the media. Y'all had an interview him last year, right? Yeah. Is it different? When you're talking to Doug, is it different? And that's the thing. If you are Josh Allen, I got more stripes on the wall than my head coach. Like, I'm better at what I do than what he done. Now, I'm respected because of his position.
You're talking about Urban Meyer.
And I'm just saying, we go from before Urban Meyer becomes the head coach. Whoa, that's crazy. Chris Doyle, already starting. Tim Tebow, what? You know what I'm saying? Tom Coughlin. It was just a lot. So I just think that I'm happy for them Jags because as a guy that played for 3 organizations, the Titans weren't like the Bucs. The Bucs weren't like the Raiders. But you know what made me appreciate the Titans? The Bucs. Because the Bucs was different. Like, man, we go from, the Bucs got a chef and all kind of stuff. I'm like, nice. And I go to the Raiders. And I'm not talking about the Las Vegas Raiders They stadium looked like the Dark Star. Well, I don't even know what you call this thing. I'm at the Raiders to where they literally have fruit on the ground. I'm like, what is that, man? Get you one of them apples, one of the bananas. The bananas that done gone from yellow to black and the freaking apples that look rotten. Yeah, bro, get you one of them. What the hell? So, Kevin, all I'm saying is the environment in which you perform in has a lot to do with how you perform. Because if it's chaos Monday through Friday, and on Sunday, Urban Meyer coming up to you, you're like, what's wrong? I don't know. You gonna kick me? What? It's crazy. That stuff has a lot to do with it because I'm just, Kevin, and not to compare. You've been to a 5-star hotel. I'm just saying.
Half of it.
I'm just saying. Does it look like a 1-star hotel?
No, I've been in plenty of 1-star.
Listen, I'm saying, I've been to a bunch of shout out to the 1-stars. I'm just saying, Kevin. Once you went to a hotel, if somebody said, Kevin, we're going to fly you and the missus and the kids, you're going to say, man, just stick us in coach and give us anything. No, we're going to give you 5-star. Well, last year, they was in coach. They was in the 1-star hotel. This year, this is how it really is, fellas, treating y'all as grown men first, professional second. I'm not going to come in here like I'm Doug Peterson, That's Urban Meyer act like he coming off a Super Bowl run. Dude, you didn't even make it the whole year. That's crazy, man.
No,
That's
look,
crazy.
I wonder how much just real on the field impact that could have when.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence said last year's like, dumb. This is nuts. Like you said, it was a wild thing to show up every single day to work, not knowing what was going to happen. And I imagine that is a little bit unnerving. And we'll see if you get the stability of Doug Peterson if he really because he didn't play bad last year despite all that.
He didn't.
What can he do with a little stability with Doug Peterson? Doug Peterson came here and goes, Trevor, I won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles.
Come on.
Right? Who did I beat? Oh, we beat Tom Brady.
We beat the GOAT.
With Nick Foles.
Oh, no. What he should do is he should say, put it up. Put what up? Fellas, this is the outside of Philadelphia Eagle Stadium. And that is a statue of Nick Foles. What? Nick Foles has a statue in Philadelphia. And for those of you who don't know, statues, unless something crazy happens, that's forever.
Yeah. They might put one up if we win one.
So, Trevor.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want one of those, holla at your boy.
Statues are us.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying when you look, listen, not Randall Cunningham, not Donovan McNabb, not Mike Vick, Nick Foles. That's for life. I'm just saying because you talking about legacy builder, bruh. Is that Philadelphia only Super Bowl ever? That's their only Super Bowl. Last time I checked, the Jags, like a couple of teams in the NFL. Last time I checked, never won a super duper. Never been to one.
Been a couple of AFC championships.
So all I'm saying is Blake Bortles and a defense and Leonard Fournette almost got them there. I'm just saying, people, trust in Doug Peterson, who is a very, 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 very short list of Super Bowl winning coaches.
We've got more to come as we lead you up towards Braves and Phillies. Tonight it is 3 and Out all across the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Good to have you back here. It is 3 and Out. Ben Troop, Kevin Thomas, Braves and Phillies coming up a little bit later tonight. Actually, we'll have it for you here in just a couple of minutes. Trade deadline coming up first part of next week, Ben, and we'll see what Alex Anthopoulos has up his sleeve. I mean, this time last year, the Braves were debating. Do we make a move? Do we go for it? Are we all in? Are we cashing out? Are we looking ahead? And maybe the best buy-in that we've ever seen, right? From a Braves organization. You make one move early, it's Jock Peterson. Jock Peterson shows up and says, fellas, why are y'all acting like y'all can't win this thing? Like, this is a great locker room, great clubhouse. And it seemed like the environment changed, and the rest, as they say, was history.
Kevin, all I'm going to say is this. Until proven otherwise, Alex Anthopoulos, you know what you've done for me, sir? You have proven what I say about culture. I'm telling people, coming from a person who didn't understand it, I'm like, man, we got to build this culture. Man, what y'all talking about culture, man? We're trying to win a game. Well, we can't because we don't even have a culture yet, right? Jock Peterson comes over and looks around, Kevin. It goes back to what we said last segment. He goes, fellas, yeah, not only did the team I was on say, hey, man, we don't want you no more, bruh. Y'all on the top floor. Like, what you mean?
I got traded up to the top floor.
No, here it is. Wait. Most teams want to be relevant. Most teams want to compete to win their division. Y'all done it 3 years in a row? Yeah. What's wrong with y'all? Whoa, is that Ronald Acuna? Yeah, I thought he was bigger than that. He ain't that big. He nice. Whoa. It was, is that Freddie Freeman? Yeah, that's awesome. What's up, Austin Riley? What's up, Isaac Elb? It's like, what's up, Dan? It's like Kevin. He was saying, bruh, even if we lose, it would be because we didn't perform well. And I'm saying and I just got off the plane. So I do think that Alex Anthopoulos has earned the trust, right, of the fan base and the organization because, Kevin, outside of what, Joey Bats, he hasn't had a bunch of duds. He survived, once again, Mike Fultonavich is not even talked about with the Braves anymore.
Gone.
You've overcome the worst first inning in postseason history. It's got to be up there. So all I'm saying is whatever he does, Kevin, what used to be Wilson, I don't understand that. Now we're like, hey, we'll give it time. Why? He saw something about this guy. Moneyball for 3 guys last year, it worked. I'm not saying the team was better, but Moneyball worked. You took 3 guys that nobody wanted, and now these boys rings.
I think you took 3 guys that at least 2 of those guys people thought were probably washed up at the end of the day and got them. I mean, people probably thought Jorge Soler he's at the end, and maybe he still is, but you got more out of him than anybody thought you were going to at the end of the day, Ben.
Kevin, I understand too about a guy who, when I was in the National Football League, the one thing I appreciated was being wanted by a team like the Tampa Bay Bucks, being wanted by a team like the then Oakland Raiders. It's something about being wanted that gives you a rejuvenated energy to go out there and not want to be the weak link because everybody's watching you. Right. You just got here. So if you stink when you get here, they're going to say, well, he stunk where he came from. But now, Peterson, Rosario, Soler, they're going to live in Braves history, especially Soler. My goodness. Because you know what they said? Hey, man, I don't need you for a full season. I need the best sample size you can give me. All right. Can you fit into this lineup? Yes. Jock Peterson, like I say, man, Jock Peterson said what everybody thinks. We are those. And Kevin, like I said, they got Hardwell. Jock Peterson reunion was better than Freddie Freeman's. That. Whatever you do, Alex Anthopoulos, Kevin Thomas told me to tell you he has faith in you.
Why wouldn't you? But seriously, I'm serious. Why would you not have faith in
the fact? Don't they give out like manager of the year or like
GM of the year, executive of the year?
Did they not win it last year?
He should. I don't.
Alex Anthopoulos didn't win GM.
I don't know if he did or not. I'm saying he should have.
Who won it?
I don't know. I don't keep up
Dodgers,
I don't keep up with executive of the year. If you'd like me to do a search, I will do a search. I don't know.
That just show you how disliked the Braves are because they're better than people want them to be.
Don't say he didn't win it. I don't know.
Well, if he didn't win it, did he even win it the last 4 years at all? What are we doing? I thought results mattered. Guess not.
Apparently, San Francisco's president of baseball operations won it in 2021.
Listen, somewhere I'm going to check and see if Alex Anthopoulos and Stetson Bennett are related. Because something's going on, man. This is nonsense. Like, I thought the results matter, Kevin. Obviously, hey, man.
I don't know how they vote on executive of the year
without trash cans. Yeah, I said it.
I don't know how they vote on executive of the year.
Kevin, they vote on man, look, they vote on executive of the year, the same people that put Hutchinson and
something tells me that Alex Anthopoulos probably doesn't care if he wins executive of the year or not. I understand, I'd be willing to bet if you said, Alex, you didn't win executive of the year. And
he goes, no, I want it all.
And I got the ring. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, I would care, but my hand.
Yeah, my hand is
a little heavy.
Yeah, they was comparing my ring to, I don't know, the Bucks, and the Rams. That's the teams that won it all, and I don't know who won in the NHL. Sorry, I go to the Golf Channel if I want to see who won it.
Appreciate Fred Owens, Tomahawk Take, joining us here on 3 and Out. Also, Rich Styles, host of the Back Nine Boys Golf Show. Got some Braves baseball tomorrow afternoon. So the Braves and Phillies wrap that up. We'll talk to you a little later down the road as the Braves hopefully could be playing for first place tomorrow. If they can win tonight, win tomorrow, and have a little help with the Mets taking an L, maybe the Braves can wind up in a good spot. We will see you then. If you missed any portion of the show, ESPNCoastal.com. You can go to our YouTube channel, ESPN Coastal on YouTube. Follow us along there. Watch any portion of the show that you missed there on our YouTube channel. Braves and Phillies coming up next.